guys, this is Jenna with Hill Valley Farm, and today it's a little different. I know we're not out in the barn, but it's about to be kidding season here at Hill Valley Farm, and there's a lot of my friends, my breeder friends that have already started. They've been into their breeding or kidding season about a month or two. So I like to kid out mid to late February, starting out just because I don't love the super cold of January, and we just went through some really bad weather with snow, with ice, and then snow, and it was a long 2 weeks for us. So it's just something I'm not interested in, just for personal reasons, but it is about that time. As of yesterday, we are 2 weeks from Hill Valley Butterfly Effect, so it's Butters. Due date, which is February 25th, so it's Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. And then Alice is just 2 days after her due, and Trisha is like 5 days due after Alice. So it's going to come pretty quick. Therefore, when we were, in the deep freeze and dealing with all that on my off time, I planned my kidding kit. And so, it's very important to be prepared. Even if everything goes perfectly smooth, you still need items to help you get things done, get the kids dry, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to go over some of that stuff today. I've done a video like this before. It's pretty similar. My kit hasn't changed very much, but it has changed some. So with that said, let's get started. First and foremost, this is not in my kidding kit. This is something that I keep in my little apothecary cabinet where I keep my meds. But this is a ketone blood test monitor. And this is it. It's BHB Check Plus. This is the monitor, and these are the strips. It's a little container. Now the container is sealed, and you don't want to open that container. You don't want to just check out your strips and see, because they actually will expire. They're only good for a little while after you open the bottle. And the strips do have an expiration date. It's very, very important to pay attention to that expiration date. Because it may change the value. But we keep this because you can have the ketone urine strips test just to kind of see where they are at if you suspect pregnancy toxemia in a doe, but it doesn't really give you an accurate number. This gives you exactly the amount of ketones that are in the blood. And so anything less than 0.8 is ketonic, and anything above is, pregnancy toxemia, it's ketonic and ketosis. And the higher the value determines whether the treatment is, mild or moderate, aggressive, treatment. So anyways, I cannot recommend this enough. We got ours off of the PBS Animal website. Obviously they don't sponsor me. I'm just saying where I got it from. But it comes in this nice little zip up pouch, and I keep it here in the house. I keep it where I know that it is. And I don't want it out in the elements in the barn. I want it in the house, and I want it where it's easily accessible and I know where it is at all times, because this is what saved Butter's life last year. Last year I did a video on how we got through pregnancy toxemia, and this thing helped. A lot of people ask me, how do you get the blood? I just poke it with a needle that I have, like a 18 gauge needle, sterile. I clean the bottom side of their tail and with alcohol, and then I poke and then get the blood that way. It's very, very similar. If you've ever seen anyone check their blood glucose level, if they're diabetic, it's just like that. It works exactly the same. So that's that. Like I said, it doesn't live in my kidding kit, but it is part of breeding does and having, knowledge and having that available so that you can take care of your animal. So with that said, we'll go ahead and open this bag up. This is just like an emergency medical duffel bag that I got. And first and foremost, I have gloves, and these are really cool. I saw someone post these. It's called Get a Grip, and their grip, they've got some sort of grip on them, and they said it helped them hold the kid, like if they were having to go in and pull a kid out, it helped them have a little bit of a grip. So I'm going to try these this year. We'll see how they go, but I'm very excited about those. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see. I do have a 60cc syringe and an NG, like a stomach feeding kit, okay? And this is if I have to tube the kid to get colostrum in them, if they're not sucking. It's very, very handy. You do have to know how to do it. I recommend, watching a video or asking a friend, but this is something that I will not have in my kidding kit, and because it happens, the kids, like if they're too cold and you have to bring them in, or they just won't latch onto mom, I need them to get colostrum in them before I just leave for the evening or the day or whatever and go about my day. I want to see those kids get colostrum, and if I'm not seeing it, they have to get it somehow. So fortunately, I've not had to tube, but I have syringe fed colostrum before. So, but this is if you just need to do it and get it done, and the kid just really didn't catch it on. So there's that. I do have my handy dandy hair dryer. Now, the does don't love this, when we turn it on and we're drying their kid, like if it's super cold, they don't love it. It startles them. So I kind of start out on low setting, and then I kind of go from there. This thing has been a game changer in my kidding kit. I'm not sure if I had it last time I did one of these videos, but it's really great because it's warm, and when it's really cold outside and they're wet, if you've never tried to get animal dry after being born, it's sometimes not very easy. A lot of times that slime that's on them can be really, really thick and just relentless. And so this has helped me so much, because if they're laying there and it's cold and they're wet, their temp is dropping, okay? And so we want their temp to stay at the normal temp, which is 101.5 to 103.5, and that's the normal temp for a goat. We want their temp to get there and stay there. But if they're cold and they're wet, and the dam keeps licking them, they just keep getting wet. So this hair dryer is wonderful. It not only dries them, but it gets them kind of warm, like gives them a little bit of a boost, if you will. We do have the Safer heat lamp, the Prima One from Premier One, and it is wonderful. But, sometimes it just can't get the job done when they're first born. So this is amazing. Now, I will say, if I have a kid that cannot hold their temp, like they're struggling, I will get one of my bags here. I'll empty it out, and I'll put like a couple of towels on the bottom of it. I'll put the kid in there and cover it with a towel, and I will put the hair dryer. I will just kind of hold it in there. Now, there is a breeder that has a tub, and she's got like an area where she can secure the hair dryer to the bin, and it just blows the warm air, and you're creating like an incubator, and it is amazing, and it will increase nice and slow, increase the body temp of the kid. I have done that several times. That is what kept one of Dicey's kids with her last year until she rejected them. But Dicey is not the best mother. But I even used it on Dicey when she was born. She could not really hold that temp, and so that I created that incubator type setting. So the hair dryer, I cannot stress enough, has helped so much. This is called a Kelly's Kid Puller. So the idea is that if you have a situation, which it happens, where the kid is malpositioned and they're not coming out correctly, you can go in, you can see, I hope you can see the loop here. It, can come out like that. And I can go in that dough, and I can put this, snare it around the kid's head, and I can push this up, and I can and it can help me create pressure to pull. Now, I'm going to only pull while the dough pushes. You know, that's very important. But this is a Kelly's Kid Puller. I highly recommend it. I have not had to use one yet, but there have been situations where I needed it and I didn't have it. And you do not want to be in that situation. Just trust me. So I'm glad that I have it now. So we have it in our kidding kit, and it is called a Pull Ease Lamb Puller. Okay, so in this pocket, this is our iodine. And it's the Providone Iodine Prep Solution. It is 10%. And this is a bottle that's obviously been used. And I have, because I'm very funny about always having things on hand, I have a brand new bottle here waiting for when I'm out of that bottle. And then as soon as I get out of this bottle and start using my second one, I will order another one to always have, just in case. That is for, and I will share over here. So the iodine is, I use it every kitting for every kid. This is very, very important. I have these stainless steel shot glasses ordered on Amazon. They're reusable. I like that. You can get plastic ones, but I really just wanted to be able to reuse instead of throwing away. And so what I'll do, I have my surgical stainless steel scissors here. And this is a new pair. I had to order some this year because my others were really old. So I will, if the umbilical cord is a little bit longer, I will cut that cord pretty short. Not super short, but pretty short. Some people say they pull. I don't pull. I just cut. There's opinions about that, but it's just what I've always done, and it's always worked well for me. And I always say, do you, and do what works for you. So I'll cut the umbilical, and I will put the iodine in this shot glass. I'm going to fill it all the way up, and I'm going to pick that kid up, and I am going to put this cup against, like if my umbilical cord is hanging down, I'm going to put it up, and that umbilical cord is going to get soaked by this iodine. And I hold it. I'm funny. I hold it for like 15 seconds. And when I'm done, I dip every kid's umbilical. I don't change out the iodine between kids. It's iodine. It's supposed to kill all the germs. So I don't dump it. I only dump it when I'm done for this particular kitting. So let's say I'm done. I dump it. I put it in here. I think, yeah. So I have a bag of bags, and I will get out one of my other bags, and I will put my dirty one in here. And because I did this last year when I had several doughs due, I had a couple shot glasses in one ready to go with my scissors. Now, when I'm cleaning them, the way I clean them is I'll boil some water, and I will just drop the shot glass and the scissors down in the water. And to get it out of the water, I have hemostats that I just pick it up with when it's done. So that's how I sanitize the equipment and reuse. Now, I also have, and again, because we had a couple, several doughs due in one day last year, and in years past, we have a couple of these in case I don't get to them. Same thing in cleaning these. I boil water, and I suck up the boiled water, and then I dump it that way, and I'm sanitizing my bulb syringe. So this is a bulb syringe. It is a medical bulb syringe. This is the best bulb syringe that you can get. You can find it on Amazon now. You used to only be able to get it in the hospital. And so this thing is amazing. It will suck any, like the junk that's in their lungs. If you hear them cough or they can't really get that bag out, that first bag. Caden is my snot sucker. It's what I call him. He does a very good job of clearing their airways and getting them clear. And so this is very, very important, because when we talk about, life in general, your ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. So this is very, very important. You want them to be able to have a clear airway and be able to breathe. And so I'm going to put all of this back on this side. because I do want to stay prepared. Now, I will, this is really a good idea. So, again, sometimes you will have that kid that can't hold their temp, or they just aren't sucking, and you just have to bring them in. And it stinks. It's not ideal, especially when we dam raise, but it happens. So I carry this with me with the lid, very important, because I want to be able to put colostrum from the dam in here and have it for this kid that I'm bringing in the house. And so I don't measure it, if I need more, I can always go get more from the dough, but I want my initial colostrum in here, and I want to be able to cover it, keep it clean, so I can bring it in the house, warm it a little bit, make sure the kid's temp is warm, is normal. You don't want to give a cold kid anything in their gut at all, ever, until their temp is normal. This is why a thermometer is very important in your kit, which is what we have in this pocket right here. Typically, I will buy a new thermometer every single year because this thing is out in all weather, and so this one is a brand new one, and it stays in my front pocket here. So I use these thermometers because I want to make sure that the kid is okay, because if you feed a cold kid colostrum or anything, put anything on its gut, it could necrose. It could get necrotic and die. The tissue could die. So you don't want that. But this thing is super, super handy. So I really like having my bowl with my lid. It has come in handy several times. And I even have I don't now, I'll have to get one, but I will keep like a 10cc syringe. It's an oral syringe in here, and you can like put it on some nipples, which reminds me I do need to get some nipples in here. And I can show you those in a little bit. Okay, let me see. That was, and then this last pocket. Okay, so we have Nutri-Drench. Nutri-Drench is amazing for those moms that have just really had a hard, long labor, pushed really hard, maybe had a malpositioned kid, or just in general seems like she's just done, So Nutri-Drench is great. It gives them a boost of vitamins and minerals and things that they need, okay? And it is like there's directions. I love that there's directions on here on how much to give them. So it's very important. I do have like a oral drench syringe gun that I keep, and I don't know, typically, I don't know where that sucker is. So again, this is good that I'm going through it. I'll have to find it and show you guys. But yeah, so I like that drench gun for that. And this is calcium gluconate. Calcium gluconate is a beautiful, wonderful thing if you think that your dough needs it, like if they're sluggish, if they've had pregnancy toxemia and you've had to, use your monitor and do all the things for pregnancy toxemia. These doughs need calcium. They are making milk, and their calcium can get completely depleted, and it's very scary when that happens. So I ended up having to give Butter calcium gluconate last year. I learned it's something that I need to have in my kit at all times. And so where I will give this is I will actually inject it with a needle into their brisket. That's the best place to give it, and it will give them the boost of calcium that they need. Now this is only a need-only thing, so you have to have symptoms. So I'm not out there just giving calcium gluconate to every dough that kids. Fortunately, last year Butter was the only one I had to do that with. Before her, I did give it to Lily when she had that really horrible dystocia. And that was not her issue, but it didn't hurt her, but you don't want to overdo it, okay? So that is this bag, and next we'll go to this bag. So in this one, I really have lots and lots of towels. I cannot stress enough the amount of towels, they are so important. I cannot stress that enough. It is literally full of towels on the end, like in the center part. If you have, like, if you want to make like a post saying that, hey, any old towels anyone would like to donate, we're about to hit kidding season, and I need some towels to dry these kids off. I personally like a smaller towel versus the great big ones. They're just easier to handle and use. And so I really like this size of towel. A lot of towels you get are really big, and it's just not my personal favorite. So I like the smaller towels just because when you're dealing with a little bitty kid, you don't want this great big towel everywhere, and it's just easier to handle. One really important thing, I carry molasses in this bag with a wooden spoon to stir the water with. So after every kidding, and I mean everyone, every doe, and even if they're having a long labor, sometimes if they're laboring hard, it's been real bad and I feel like they need a boost, I will get warm water, like hot water in a bucket. Does love hot water. If you have goats and you've never given them hot water, try it. They love it. It's like a treat for them. But if you throw molasses in it, it gives them the boost. It gives them a sugar boost. And it gives them the boost that they need to get some energy in them. Molasses water, I cannot speak highly enough about it. So that's what we use. Now, I do have right here in this pouch the YMCP powder. I ordered it a couple years ago. I tried it. My does just didn't like it. So I mean I have it, and I do try it occasionally, especially in those really hard dystocias. But 9 times out of 10 they just want the molasses water. So I still have it just in case, but I don't really use that. Now, the next thing is I have for every kidding is a garbage bag. Okay, and so I have actually several down in this pouch here. But I like to have this garbage bag for my laundry, because you would be surprised how many towels you're going to use per kidding, depending on how many kids. Now, sometimes they pop out a big single and you might use 3 towels. But other times they pop out quads and you're using all your towels that you own. And so you just never know. And so what we do is we'll use the towel. We dry them off. But as soon as that towel is feeling kind of damp, I check it. I go ahead, put it in my garbage bag, and then I get a new one. And then we just keep going. When it's time to clean the doe up afterwards, I do the same thing. I'll use the towels to clean her up. And I put them all in the garbage bag. I bring them in the house, and I immediately wash them on like the sanitation cycle and with bleach and all that, to get everything out. I do try, we bed down with straw, so I try to keep the straw to a minimum on my towels. It's kind of hard sometimes when it's real messy, but that's how we wash the towels. So that's what is in this bag. And then over here, pull it out. I'll get a bag that's already open. We have puppy pads. These things are so amazing, because when a doe lays down to push a kid out, I'll put this under her area where the kid will come out on. The kid is born onto this, so it's not born in the dirt or the straw where it sticks to it and all that. And it's born on this thing, and I can pick it up, like I can take the whole thing and put it in front of mom and let her start cleaning while I, help clean the kid too. It is really important. Like, you do want to make sure that you are putting your kids right in front of their dams so that the dam can start licking them. This is if you dam raise. So the dam can start licking them and bonding, because that is a bonding part of the whole process, is licking those kids. I have a brand new bag of pee pads here, and I also have another bag, huge bag, you can see it, of towels. And so that's pretty much it. I will get my syringe, my drenching syringe, to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it here. So this is my drenching gun. I really, really like it. I like how it fits in my hand. It has a groove right here, and then it has grooves here for my fingers to hold, and then I can push the plunger down so easily. And this is metal, it's stainless steel, and it curves, and you don't put it very far in their mouth. You're like, I'm not sticking this down their throat. I'm literally just putting it on the inside and towards the back of their mouth, and just beyond those teeth, and pushing whatever it is I need to push. This one is a 30cc syringe. I know, like, to standard breeders, this is so small. This would not work for them. I mean, it might, who knows. But for Nigerians, we don't need a whole lot, at once. So I like the smaller one. But I do like that this is a 30cc syringe, because in the NutriDrench, I believe it's like 30 cc's per 100 pounds. And so if you have like a 75-pound doe, you do the math, But if I have a 100-pound doe, I can still use this whole thing at once. I don't want to have to be like going back and forth and getting it. I used to have a 15 cc drenching gun, and it just wasn't big enough. So I like the 30. So if you have a kidding kit, and you have something else in your kidding kit that I didn't mention today, feel free to comment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But we, like I said, are getting ready for kidding season around here. It's just around the corner. We have it spread out. If you haven't done it, please go to our website and check out our kidding plans, or breeding plans. And pretty much everyone except for the last few have been confirmed. And so it's just really, really an exciting time. I have spread out our season very far. So it starts the end of February, and we're about to breed our last does for really the end of July. And that will be hopefully it for our kidding season. I don't want to go much further at all into the fall. But I am really excited. We have some really, really, really nice pairings. So if you are looking, especially in the beginning right here with Butter and Alice and Trisha, they are our high production does. And so if you're looking for an animal like a buck or a doe to increase your production, I have your animals. At least we're expecting them. How's that? And get on our reservation list. It's free. So contact me if you are interested, and I'll work with transport. And I'm very flexible. If you prefer to bottle feed, I can pull. I do plan to pull, like if Butter has 4, I will pull 2. Because it's just, I don't like to have 4 on a doe. It's not really healthy for their mammary, and I don't like, it's pretty rough how the kids are. So we're really, really mindful of that. So we're very careful. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until we see you guys again, I hope you have an awesome goat field day.